Hey there! Welcome back to our weekly podcast called Equitymaster Stock Market Wrap Up. This is Rini talking to you from Mumbai. In today's podcast, as usual, we will look at the major moves that swayed the markets this week. So let's jump right in. Speaking of the broader markets first, stock markets remained marginally higher this week. However, on Thursday, domestic benchmark indices hit record highs after the US and China inked the phase 1 of their trade deal. Indian shares followed its Asian and US peers that were also trading at record highs. The Sensex crossed 42,000 level for the first time, while Nifty followed suit, hitting a record high of 12,377. Broader market indices, small caps and mid caps continue to rally during the week. Speaking of small caps, as the new year kick-started, there was hardly any cheer among investors despite Sensex touching new highs. The reason? The rally is driven by a few large caps and has left most of the stocks untouched. The blow was specially felt by small caps, most of which remained untouchables. This isn't the first time small caps are witnessing correction, and yet this was once in a decade kind of event. That's because it was for the first time that the small caps remained in the red in 2 successive years. Well, I would like to quote our small cap research analyst Richa Agarwal on this. She says, and I quote, "The mutual fund reclassification, liquidity squeeze, global trade tensions and recent reforms and policy changes kept investors on guard and away from small caps. It did not help that the economy growth itself slowed down to 6-year low. But amid all this macro data, a few interesting details are missing. Ignoring these could deprive you of possibly the best money-making opportunity in 2020." Unquote. So as the divergence between the Sensex and small cap index widens, Richa answers why small cap rebound is just around the corner and why this could be the right opportunity to buy quality small cap stocks in her latest video on our YouTube channel called Small Cap Multibaggers. Do watch the video. Now, speaking of US-China deal, both the countries signed an initial trade deal on Wednesday that will roll back some tariffs and boost Chinese purchases of US products, diffusing an 18-month row between the world's 2 largest economies but leaving a number of sore spots unresolved. There was skepticism that US-China trade relationship was now firmly on the mend. The deal fails to address the structural economic issues that led to the trade conflict, and it does not fully eliminate the tariffs that have slowed the global economy. Now let's see how this pans out. Back home, inflation returned to haunt the economy. According to data released by Statistics Office on Monday, retail inflation rose to its highest in more than 5 years in December, following a spike in food prices, breaching the targeted outer limit and effectively ruling out the possibility of further interest rate cuts by RBI. The rate of inflation as measured by Consumer Price Index was 7.35% last month, the most since 7.39% in July 2014. India's GDP growth is forecast to slip to an 11-year low of 5% in the current fiscal. Further, having contracted for 3 months in a row, the index of industrial production recorded a growth of 1.8% in November, mainly on account of improvement in the manufacturing sector. Meanwhile, trade deficit narrowed in December 2019 and exports dipped for 5th month in a row. The country's exports contracted for the 5th month in a row by 1.8% in December 2019 to $27.4 billion, according to the data released by the Commerce Ministry on January 15th. Imports too declined by 8.8% to $38.6 billion, bringing down the trade deficit to $11.3 billion during the month under review. The trade deficit during December 2018 was $14.5 billion. Next, the RBI on 15 January said that Michael Patra took over as Deputy Governor at the central bank for a period of 3 years. He replaces Viral Acharya, who quit the post 6 months before end of his 3-year term. Prior to this appointment, Patra was executive director at RBI. Now, with quarterly results season kicking in, many companies reported its December quarter results. Infosys, Wipro, Tata Elxsi, IndusInd Bank, among others, were the top companies that posted results. To know more about these companies, you can read result analysis on our website. So we gotta wrap it here. Do come back next week for our market analysis and updates. Remember, it's equitymaster.com. Before I sign off, I would like to know whether you like our podcasts. We would love your feedback. Just visit equitymaster.com and drop us a line. We look forward to hearing from you. Thank you.